And Americans are spending more than ever on wellness, but somehow stress, burnout, and body shame are still on the rise. Our next guest says the real issue isn't willpower, it's how our brains are wired. Kori McClurg is a best-selling author, veteran, and wellness expert who combines science, psychology, and personal experience to tackle the emotional roadblocks holding us back. And her new book takes aim at toxic diet culture, the myth of willpower, and the shame that keeps us stuck. Kori, welcome and thank you for your service. Good to have you on with us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
You got it. I was one of those people who used to eat poorly. I was 360 pounds, used to drink 3 martinis a day, way too bad. Change it all. But it was so hard and it took so long. But like once you rewire and you kind of reprogram, then you get into the cycle and it's easy. So it's been a lot of years since I was that weight or drank that much alcohol, etc. So tell us about the understanding of emotions and health and how you can make lasting changes because sometimes it's hard to make that start, right?
It is, and I think, our culture so much perpetuates that. We often think that we're sort of cut off at the neck, right? That our brain doesn't impact our body and vice versa. But the truth is that, yeah, our brains have a huge impact on our wellness, and really understanding our brains and really understanding emotion will take you so much further than just trying to gut it out in making lasting change.
Yeah, the environment has so much to do with it too, right? So what about the modern environmental challenges and how does that shape our health strategy?
100%. I mean, we are really in a very unique position ever in human history. We have an abundance of calories around us all the time. And unfortunately, they come in these ultra processed packages, things that our brain is not accustomed to handling. We've never ever in human history been able to grab something that will just give us such a huge hit of dopamine, and that's incredibly unique. So I really encourage people, don't get down on yourself when you are, when you're craving that stuff. It's very unique in the way that we live today.
Yeah, Corey, I could recall when I was heavier, and I would do fast food probably once or twice a week minimally. Minimal. I don't even touch it today, but back in the day, I remember if I had something from the Big M, if you know what I'm talking about, the
Yep.
next day
Hmm.
I would be starving. There was something, I
Hmm.
don't know if it was just the psychological craving or if there's something in the food, but for whatever reason, if I had a burger from that place, the next day I was like climbing a wall starving. So I don't know how much of that, like I said, was psychological, but it would just put me into a kind of a cycle, like a spin out cycle. So would that be something that would clearly be a roadblock to success by allowing myself to get into that?
100%. I mean, these foods really do hijack your brain. I mean, it's a this rush of chemicals that you would have never experienced, when we were foraging for food. And so what you experience is very common, and people find themselves literally in an addiction cycle. It's not an overstatement to say that you really can get addicted to that kind of food. Um,
Mm.
so again, it's all about just noticing that. I mean, good for you, Ken, for noticing that you really felt crappy the next day after you ate that stuff, and letting yourself get clued into the fact that, hey, maybe this isn't great for me. And don't beat yourself up, just say, hey, I see that this is happening. What can I do to start changing that?
And I had actually gone to a doctor and a nutritionist to work on my whole lifestyle, holistic approach to a lifestyle change. And I remember saying to the nutritionist, it's overwhelming for me to think about going from this to this because again, I was 360 pounds and all my friends were 180 and I'm like, how do I lose half of my body? And the nutritionist stopped me and said, "Stop. I can see what you're doing right now. You have to stop thinking tomorrow I have to be that." She said to me, "If you lose a fourth of a pound in 2 weeks, okay. What's your rush? We're going to do this slowly and steadily like a turtle, and you're going to get there. It's going to take a little time. Who cares? At least you're in the right direction. Boy, oh boy, did she nail it. She absolutely nailed it. And it
Yeah.
was about making all the little changes. And then once you start seeing little progress, you're encouraged to keep making more changes.
That's exactly right. I mean, good for her for giving you such great advice. This is not an overnight thing. You didn't get in that pattern. You didn't get to 360 pounds overnight. And so, you're not going to get to 180 overnight either. And I know a lot of times that can seem kind of frustrating, and especially in sort of an instant gratification environment that we're in now. But yeah, it's baby steps. It's really just noticing, throughout the day how you're feeling. Are you really hungry? What could you eat instead of going through the drive-through? It's just those little bits of conscious effort through the day. It's not going to happen overnight, but like celebrate those wins. Heck yeah, if you lost a quarter of a pound in 2 weeks, fantastic. Celebrate that. I think so often we get in this cycle because we want, instant results. We forget to celebrate the little things that we fixed, every day. Hey, I ate 5 vegetables today. Like, get excited about that. That's how you're going to make those little changes and eventually get to that, half your size kind of level. But it just takes those baby steps every day.
100%. And how important is the mind-body connection? How important is it to make sure that you take care of yourself and emotionally you are well in order to translate that physically?
Completely. It's huge. I mean, we're really learning so much about our guts and our microbiome, and we know so much more now about how that is impacts our brains. So much of our brain chemical is produced, or there's receptors for those chemicals in our guts. So it's incredibly important, and why it's so important to just give ourselves a little compassion through this process that overloading yourself with negative emotion all day every day is certainly not going to impact this process in the right direction. So yeah, 100%, we're knowing more and more every day about how our brains are connected to our bodies, and vice versa, and how much caring for both really helps the other.
I love your book title, Get Out of Your Own Way. I also love the subtitle of it, which we may not be able to talk about on the air, but you'll find it if you go
Yeah.
online and buy it. You get it at Amazon and wherever books are sold. Uh, Tell us your website, though, so people can find it there too and for more information.
Yeah, yeah. You can just find me. It's my name, KoriMcClurg.com, KoriMcClurg. And yeah, you can find me on Amazon. Get Out of Your Way by Kori McClurg.
Love it. It is great talking to you. Best-selling author, veteran. Again, thank you for that service. And wellness expert, Kori McClurg. Thanks for joining us this morning. Please come back again.
Thanks so much, Ken.
You bet. Have a great day.